computer science engineer falling under same licensing? Can he go through the same process, or will be a different type of aspect to it?
Computer can be a challenge just because there's a lot of crossover, like what's computer science versus what's computer engineering. But typically, if you don't have a bachelor's degree in engineering, you're probably not going to meet the academic requirement for licensure. But if you have a degree in computer science, you would likely be qualified for a limited license in a defined individualized scope of practice related to computer engineering. And so I guess just for everyone, that PEG&L is not a hiring body. We're a licensing body. You'll typically see a lot of engineering positions in Newfoundland and Labrador. One of the job requirements will be that you have to be registered or eligible for registration with PEG&L as a professional engineer or a professional engineer or an engineer in training.
There's another question which kind of relates to, I guess it's more like a general from what I see from my chat, is that for a licensing procedure, do the individual needs to have a certain English test done, for example, like IELTS or anything like that?
We don't have a specific requirement. We typically look at it in a variety of ways. Like, for example, if you've done your degree, a degree in English, we consider you to have met the English requirement. And then we'll look at, we'll look at how you do in the National Professional Practice exam. We'll look at your competency assessment. We'll look at the feedback from your references. So typically, unless we see red flags there, we're not going to require a specific language score, but we can request that if we feel that we need some more evidence of proficiency in English. This chat is coming in really fast.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a question which relates here.
Yeah. And so I saw something come in you about applying from Canada. So we don't have a residency requirement. You can apply internationally and you can maintain your license internationally if you choose to do so.
There's another question which individual stated that if the Paganel is only way to get a license to start work, or there's other bodies in Canada that can accept license and the individual can come to you
Yeah, there
after.
are other bodies. Every province and territory has a engineering and geoscience licensing body. Um, and then if you become licensed in one province or territory, it's very easy to transfer that license across Canada. And we all have fairly similar requirements, but there are some differences between each jurisdiction.
There's another question which kind of was at the beginning of a chat regarding if the individual is engineer, let's say in the field of like radios or something like that, would that also need to have a certain licensing issue with that, or he needs to get requalification?
So, engineering, we don't license by discipline for individuals. So, if you meet the requirements, you would have a license and it would be up to you, as defined in our code of ethics, to only practice within your area of competence. So the difference between the professional engineering license and the limited license is that as a professional, you self-define your area of competence, whereas the limited license, the area of competence has to be defined for your specific scope of practice.
All right, we have another question which individual is asking, what are the benefits of getting licensed from Pagano?
So it's actually a legal requirement to practice engineering or geoscience independently in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, or on projects for Newfoundland and Labrador, you have to be licensed with us. You can be subject to compliance measures, and there's things in our act that you can be subject to fines. You can still practice under the supervision of a professional engineer or geoscientist, but you can't practice independently. Seeing some things. So Paganel, we don't provide training. We're a regulatory body. We do have some professional development offerings for our members, but we don't provide training or bridging programs.
There's another question from individual asking if he got a licensing in a different country, can he bring the license over and through the Paganel or kind of again requalify himself, or it really depends which country individual got his license from?
It really depends. We have some mutual recognition agreements related to academics. So, which is primarily the Washington Accord. So if you have a degree that's recognized under the Washington Accord, we would accept that as meeting the requirement. And being licensed in another jurisdiction, we will take it in consideration in the evaluation, but you would still have to complete the competency-based assessment. You would have to still do the ethics exam. Sorry, I was like, it's just good.
Yeah, chat.
I also seen a lot of questions about jobs. So again, we're a licensing body. We don't hire. We also don't, we're not a member advocacy organization. So we don't help our members find jobs. So yes, we do have job postings on our website that companies can post if they're looking for engineers or geoscientists positions. They can advertise them through our website, but we don't provide job assistance.
And in case of a job or in case of regarding specific migration question, folks, there are available booths on this platform, which there will be officers which are going to help you with the migration related questions. And when it comes to employment, there's employers also available in the different booth in this fair, so you can direct your questions regarding employment to them.
Right, this is just coming in so fast. It's hard to. I saw something about architect's license. There is an architecture licensing body in Newfoundland and Labrador who licenses architects. So it's the Architects Licensing Board, I believe is the name. So you would have to go look up their information on their requirements.
I guess there's another information which I kind of see the recurring question is that do any association like for the licensing if through Paganel is available for people who need the licensing, for example, in oil and gas industry? Is it something that is like available? Is it not really on the resource plate? Like it's a recurring question which I've seen a couple of times here.
Yeah, like what we are seeing now is the oil and gas industry locally appears to be having a little